so many of us, whether it's 2025 or years prior, when life asks a lot of us, what do we do?
We have completely normalized burnout.
You were in gridlock, from what I read, and it was a panic situation. How do you even process that?
And I really want to set boundaries more here.
During this podcast?
No.
I was so speechless. I just stared at her.
Where is she learning this? It's okay to say you.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Let's
turkey.
just ask, how would you handle it?
I think it's really important that you not shame yourself. Make shifts in your life. You're also in a season of life that's taxing.
Hello, friends. It's the Kennedys. Welcome back. Always appreciate your time. And we're still getting back into the groove of things. And I'm curious how those New Year's resolutions are going now that we're, a couple months into the new year. Do you feel like you've accomplished them? Are they still on your mind? Have you done any of the things? Because I know personally, I haven't really done a lot of those things. But my wife here sends me, usually at night, she'll DM me something. This is how we communicate, although we're 3 or 4 inches away from each other. She'll send me parenting hacks, tips, tricks. And she kept sending me this incredible woman who is very knowledgeable and full of wisdom. And I started thinking to myself, I said, maybe my New Year's resolutions should be more focused on understanding myself more, my family more, my kids more. And that's why we had an unbelievable conversation with some mutual friends who co-signed our guest today, Dr. Zelana Momany. Zelana.
Yes.
Did I say
perfect.
it?
Z. Nailed it.
Or Z.
Nailed it.
We're going to say
Call me
Z for the rest of the
Okay.
podcast because.
But you really nailed the name. I'm impressed.
How do you go through life, by the way, when people butcher your names? Because I watched other interviews and you're so gracious about it, you don't even say anything.
Honestly, it's such a hard name. I give people grace. I'm just like, you know what? It's a lot. I get it. Just do your thing. But yes.
My God.
Well, Dr. Z is a mom. She's an author. She's a behavioral scientist.
Yes.
That
So cool.
is, I don't, it's so fancy. I don't even realize what that is, but you know your stuff. Bottom line.
I study behavior. That's really what it is. I go deep and I look at patterns and habits and being human and what it takes.
Yeah.
I love that.
And she literally walked in the door 15 minutes ago. We're meeting for the first time. We've discussed off camera that we have some mutual friends.
Yeah.
And I'm just really blown away by your story. And I'd love to get into 2025, but before we do that, can you hit me with some highlights of your life, which is kind of hard to do, but what comes to mind? How do you become a behavioral scientist?
Yeah,
and,
I want to know that.
Give us anything you want, really.
I mean, listen, I always was so curious what takes, two people who are in the very similar circumstances, but react totally differently and have completely different life outcomes. I was just really fascinated by how our outlook affects our outcomes and just how powerful we are in just our thinking patterns and habits. And I started, researching. I started my career by researching happiness, actually, and realized very quickly that our goal of being happy is actually leading us toward failure because it's not actually a goal, it's a feeling. It comes and goes. So if we anchor our goal in this fleeting thing, we're just setting ourselves up, essentially. And so I dug deep in that, and then I evolved into focusing on resilience and what actually is resilience. I feel like we so often get the definition wrong, and we're trying to go toward this like grittiness that actually resilience is so much more about flexibility and your ability to pivot and know who to ask for help. I wrote 21 Days to Resilience, and I wanted that to be essentially your like psychological toolkit to building this skill set that everybody feels is like a personality trait, but isn't. It's totally something you can practice and work on. And we don't become resilient because we go through pain. We could become resilient because of how we process our life. And that's another convo. But then, and then that evolved. And eventually the past few years have been noticing that we have completely normalized burnout. We have normalized distraction in such a profound way. And everyone I know, all of my clients, all the work I do, it's just so apparent to me that everyone is so fragmented, and it's eroding our relationships with each other.
Yeah.
It's eroding, our relationships with our kids. It's so much. And so I really believe this is like the epidemic of our generation. And I wanted to write a book about it so that we can understand not just how to, better focus, but also understand that focus isn't about productivity.
Yeah.
It's about coming home to ourselves and each other. And so that's really that's what I've been working on the past few years,
You okay,
in addition to my 3 kiddos and all the things.
So life is full.
Life
and there's
is full.
so many little nuggets and tabs that I want to open
I know, me
based
too.
on what you were saying right there. Let's start with 2025 because when I started getting information about you, my wife was sending things, something struck me. You said 2025 asked a lot of you. And I think so many of us, whether it's 2025 or years prior, or even just the beginning of 2026, when life asks a lot of us, what do we do? And did you realize in the moment that it was asking a lot of you, or was it a little too late?
So I think we all go through, that's a great question. I think we all go through years where we sort of figure it out in the aftermath that that was a lot and that I held on to a lot, and then we sort of decompose like later. I think because 2025 was so uniquely traumatic in a very profound way for me and my family and many in my community in Pacific Palisades going through the wildfires.
Sure.
Our community was decimated. For those of you who don't know, our kids' schools burned, everything. Our home actually was saved by someone, but we had to essentially gut it and rebuild it and redo it. And so it was uniquely taxing in a very, in a way that, was very collective. All our friends like disappeared. Like it was just wild. And the Palisades is a very tight-knit community, as you know. So I think when I was in it, I think the grief of it all broke me open in now in retrospect in a really positive way. But when you're going through pain, it's never feels good.
Of course.
But I think it asked a lot of me in that sense that I had to be very, very clear about where I'm going to give my energy because I had so little of it.
Yeah.
And I was in survival mode.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us unfortunately live in survival mode, whether we know it or not. We're living in this like low level fight or flight constantly, whether we're going through trauma, big trauma, little trauma. I think we all go through micro griefs. That's what I call like those little moments. Even it can be something so simple. It could even be like Jason talking to you a certain way that you're kind of not okay with, but you don't really talk about it with him because life
Never happens.
He's never
or
done
whatever
that.
it is.
What are you
but
talking about?
But you internalize it and slowly it stacks
Oh,
up.
yeah.
And then you wake up one day and you're feeling extremely resentful and snappy and you don't really know why, but you're frustrated. And so those micro griefs stack up. So we're always sort of living in this mode. And that's, the year took a lot. Took a lot out of a lot of people, whether they were in the fires or not.
Sure.
I feel like there was a lot of personal growth. Like people were
Shedding.
facing a lot of things that I think had been building up for years.
Yeah.
And it seems like I agree. I feel like at least in our area of Southern California, just all of y'all that went through Palisades, it's like, how do you, when you look at it from the outside looking in, how do you even process that?
Well, now that you've had time to think about it, I mean, it wasn't just a simple thing where you were like, okay, we got to leave our house and it's just a real easy pack some things. You had a car full of your kids, your family, dog, and you were in gridlock from what I read.
Yeah, and we ran,
and it was a panic situation.
Very,
Now that you look back, it's been a year now since the fires. How do you even process that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes out in different ways, different days, right? I think grief looks different for everyone. And I think the thing that we least expect is the grief coming out in moments you never anticipate, like in a grocery store aisle and there's like a trigger of some kind of scent or visually something. I mean, I know for me, it was the littlest things wherever our rental was, Midtown, the cracks in the sidewalk on our street reminded me of the cracks back home. And it would just like, it would make me flood with tears all of a sudden, like totally weird, unexpected, not like, I'm like, well, I'm not like this. This isn't what I do. Like, I'm fine. I'm positive. I make the best of everything. I'm an overfunctioner, it's like, but I think the biggest lesson of all of it was that I became brutally honest with myself and with my community and with my family. I think the more we try to hide whatever we're going through or whatever we're feeling, the more power those feelings have over us. And another lesson is that like our kids know.
Oh my gosh.
They know, even from a little age. Like even if we think they don't and we're doing a really good job of hiding it or whatever it is in order to protect them. What they really require of us is co-regulation and honesty. And again, of course, ages and stages, but
it starts as early as,
it starts.
what would you say?
Oh my gosh.
Like the day
2,
they're
3?
born. I mean, honestly,
even
In the
earlier.
womb, I
early,
feel like.
yeah.
You say that to me a lot.
It
Yeah.
really does. They've done
He's
incredible.
listening, she's listening, you know,
Yes.
even if whether it's a small little argument in front of your kids or they just see how you react to stress.
But also
Right.
just like they absorb energy. Like
It's called co-regulation. Yes.
Yeah.
And kids do it, but we do it too. Like you
Yeah.
co-regulate with each other. So
Totally.
you probably borrow her it's energy, but it's also
Yeah.
like just the way your outlooks, like your everything. And it's really profound. And so when we're honest about that, the important thing is that we also articulate repair and the loop. What leaves kids and each other feeling anxious and unsure is that they see dysregulation, which is, by the way, very human and normal.
Sure.
Like we're all gonna fight in front of each. Like
Totally.
it's healthy, actually.
yeah.
But do they see you guys come back to each other?
Yes.
How do they see you come home to each other? Like
I thought of
figuratively.
like
do
so
you know what I
many
mean?
things. Yeah, because I feel like I've been, well, first of all, so I was in an accident like 14 years ago where I was hit by a plane propeller. But when you say those like little trigger things, I just remember this is like a really quick thing, but it took me back because I'd be in like church or something and I'd watch someone put up their hair really easily and I would just like lose it. This is like really soon after.
Yeah.
But you're just like, just all that's inside of you
Yes.
is just processing in some way, which is cool
It is.
and good and healthy, but hard.
and messy. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. It's like the littlest things. And you don't, part of being human, especially these days, is like we go through so much, we experience so much, we have so much. And again, on the spectrum, but we don't realize what we have until it's gone. And then it's so sad, right? And we talk about gratitude a lot. And I don't, I'm never one to put pressure on people to do certain things or to do. I think there's
Yeah.
too many hacks, too many to-dos, like too many
So many.
wellness. Like, I mean,
But it's important to know.
been
it
all day.
is, but gratitude is in the way that we think about our world and process things through that lens is important. We don't want a performative gratitude, like we don't want to fake it, but we do want to try to focus on what we get to do,
Yes.
what we do have
Yes.
in that way. And I always, even with my kids, like I'll catch them saying like, "Oh, I have to go to bed." You get to. And they probably
Yeah.
hate it, like it's annoying, but at some point it's going to be their internal language,
Yeah.
hopefully. And and I'm not perfect at it, but I try, right? And so it's like
Yes. That's all
when
that matters.
it's whatever, yeah. I mean that's what it is. It's a lot of it is realizing, what and the fire, like we had this extraordinary community. We still do. It's different. It's
Yeah.
spread out now, but realizing sort of the beauty of what we had in retrospect is an interesting thing to experience, just like you did, right? It's like, and
Yes.
now things probably feel so acutely extraordinary, right?
100%.
And you're just
Yes.
so much more aware and in awe,
Yes.
probably, hopefully, of who you are, who you've become, who you're still
Totally.
becoming, right? And the two of you,
I remember during COVID, he was going through, like his job totally shifted.
Yeah.
So he was just grieving a loss.
Yeah.
And I feel like so much of his identity, we've talked about this, is like attached to what he did. And so he was just going through like such, I feel like he just like burst open and like wasn't dealing with it at first. And for me, since I've been through a season like that, I had to keep going back to that season. Like, how did people encourage me and love on me and have grace on me during that time? Because this is an important time. It's actually
Yeah.
a gift that
Yeah.
he's been given. But some days he was so negative, and I'd be like,
She goes,
a beautiful day.
She goes, "It's a beautiful day," and she pulled Bior out. This is Bior.
That's so unfair that you have that.
I know.
Like, it's like such an advantage.
And then I'm like,
Totally, that's what I'm
oh
in
my
a funny
gosh.
way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't mean
I
to like
definitely-
you know what I mean?
No,
I
but
missed
I'm
the
like,
mark on
no, but it's
No,
like,
but it was
good and
big
real.
for you, and that
Yeah.
was your shedding, like your grieving period. And
I needed to go through that for sure.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
I
totally.
want to go back because we're, talking about kids and handling grief and everything you went through. You were on this beautiful walk with your daughter, and after the fires, I think a woman came up to you, and I love that story. If you could share with everybody, just because I'm curious about how kids process and handle grief, and how your kids, after going through that, it's only 1 year removed, how you've kind of seen them deal with it all.
So my kids, so currently they're 13, 11, and 5. So they were a year younger at the time. So my 4-year-old, it's really profound to see life and grief through children's eyes.
Wow.
And it made me even, I knew cognitively and through the work I do and my research that you have to try really hard as a parent not to project your own feelings onto your children, and that they're going to have their own experience. And that's super critical. But this made me see it so clearly, because whatever I was feeling, like they were feeling something very different. It was so interesting because contextually, like as an adult, I'm already 20 steps ahead, right? Like my husband and I are already spiraling on all the things and doing the insurance stuff and the logistics, and we can think ahead. They were in it. Like they were in the present moment. It was hard. It was painful, but they saw so much beauty. They saw only the good. They begged me to go back and to see it. And they saw, the little flowers that were growing through the ash that I literally couldn't even see. It was just so beautiful. So so we were on a walk in the neighborhood that we had relocated to, and like an older lady just stopped us and started, I haven't seen you guys here before. And, oh yeah, well, we're from the Palisades. And I always, it was kind of a weird moment whenever you tell anyone that. At the time. It was very...
Because you're almost looking for their reaction.
I was sort of like, I don't want them to feel like they have to do a big thing. And it's like this poor lady was just walking through. Like she didn't expect this.
You don't dump all your trauma on a stranger.
This is a lot. Like I get it. And she's just looking at my daughter, and tears welling up in her eyes. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I am so profoundly sorry. And my 4-year-old daughter looks up at her without missing a beat and just says, please don't be sorry. This is just part of my life story.
I can't.
And I just was like, I was so speechless. I just stared at her, and the woman just stared back. Oh. And it's almost like hard to imagine something like that coming from a little person. And the woman just was like, you're right. Like it is part of your life story. And then, my daughter Ella just kind of was like, yeah, it's okay, but thank you so much. And and then we walked back, and I was a little quiet. And then I said, that was really beautiful. She said, well, no, Mommy, like a life is made up of stories and pages and chapters. And this is going to be a really big one, but it can be a really good one too.
Where is she learning this? It's okay to say you. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm not taking all the credit.
Take the credit.
But no, it's just, listen, I think it's so much of our kids is imprinted in the minute they're born. Like I'm watching my son develop, who's 13, and so much of who he was literally first weeks of life is who he is now too. Wow. It's wild. Oh. Yes, shaping, environment, whatever. And she hears things, and she hears my older kids saying things and my husband and I saying things, of course. And we do tend to have that like narrative in our home. So I do think it's so important. And yes, we have days where we're not like, I'm not saying everything needs to be positive, but we do talk about the power of challenge and what that can do and how important that is to invite discomfort in some ways into your consciousness, because otherwise you don't get to practice. If you don't practice the hard stuff when you're little, the hard stuff is going to hit when you're older. And you won't even know how to deal, right?
So true.
And so that's kind of, so that was an amazing fun moment. She has a lot of that.
So I feel like we're learning so much about, I'm just like hooked on parenting things because I feel like I've learned so much about myself too.
Yes.
And then like him with himself, and you're like reflecting on your childhood and like what was your foundation? How were you taught?
Yeah.
And it's like things that are wired in our brain to, like Jason and I were talking today about, I'm listening to this book, Transforming Toddlerhood, and I'm learning a lot from it too. Like, our goal is not to change their behavior.
Right.
It's so important to create a safe space. Even if they're, like it was saying, if they're kicking and screaming, like they're actually processing, and it's actually healthy for the age that they're at.
Yes.
But to us, we're like, they're being defiant. And it's like, and then I feel like there's so many layers to that of just, we've been gone for a month in between our homes, and like experiencing those things in front of people watching, and you just having to stay your course of like, I'm supporting this. I'm going to hold the space for him, mainly Riv right now.
Yeah.
And Poppy when she needs it, but she's not like quite there yet. I mean, holding space for her, of course, but not where she's like verbally saying all these things and having humongous responses.
Yeah.
But just like letting them
that
feel safe
they're
in
little
those.
people.
Yeah.
You know, just like we have different moods and feelings, like they're gonna have their different moods and feelings.
Yes.
I think also, you know, some of what I've worked on and studied is that, you know, yes, they have their behaviors and their reactions to things, but they also develop survival patterns for better or for worse. We all have them, and they come up. And it's not because you intend to put them through trauma or pain or anything. It's just that, you know, as children, as we grow, hopefully those patterns are positive ones, but sometimes they're not. And that's okay too. And it's, as parents, we have the ability to change things. Nothing is really fixed. That's really important to understand. Whatever we think our kids are doing or like, or have this, you know, whatever negative reaction to things, we can pivot. We can ebb and flow. Like I always talk to parents a lot about devices because a lot of the work I do is in the focus space. And devices are a big part of the distractibility. But even like I have so many parents who say to me, oh, I can't go back. Like I've given up. Like they have the device now. It's like their habit. No, you can take it back. You can say to them, listen, we've done it a certain way this whole time. And I read this thing or I learned this thing and we're going to do it differently.
Yeah.
And like, what do you think about that? Like, I would love your feedback, for example, right?
Love.
You can always shift.
Do you feel like parents are afraid? It's so funny you're saying this because yesterday it wasn't really, well, it kind of was a device thing. River kind of has this routine where we'll watch 10 minutes, 15, sometimes 20, whatever it is, of Peppa Pig before bed or Paw Patrol. That's his thing. It's like Peppa, we'll shower, he'll get a little time just to kind of decompress. And he was just having a hard time. He wasn't listening and he was being defiant, and it just, he was struggling. And like Lo said, we've just moved. So we're out of our routine. It's a lot on our children. It's a lot on us. Everybody's just trying to keep their head above water right now. But I said in my head, before I said the comment, I was about to say like, hey, you know, we're not going to watch Peppa tonight because you're not listening to mom and dad, you know? And before I said it, I'm like, do I want to deal with his reaction right now? And I'm wondering kind of what you were just talking about. I think some parents are afraid of saying, and trust me, I've been there a million times, like, I don't want to deal with that reaction right now. But I think regardless, it'll be worth that reaction because the end product will be much better. Tonight, I know that if he kind of gets in that same space of like, hey, remember what happened yesterday, bud? Like, you're not going to have the TV time. You're not going to be able to watch Peppa. And he was probably going to be like, yeah, I want to listen to mom and dad because he says that.
Yes.
Do you think it's a long way of me asking?
I know I do struggle with like,
Yeah.
because that to me is very behavioral. And so I feel like,
I literally know what you're about to say.
Yeah.
Say
See,
it.
sometimes
Say it.
I feel like I'm
Did you
doing the right
agree on
thing, and
this?
then I'm like,
no,
No.
I wouldn't.
I can't.
But I don't want to say that
Poor
all the
Jason.
time because
I'm trying to do the right thing here.
Yeah.
no, totally. And that's why I feel like,
Don't forget the mic's right here in your camera.
yeah, oh, thanks. It's good that I feel like we're getting to the point where we can have that conversation because I'm just doing so much research. I'm learning it. I'm not like a pro or anything like that. I'm just
But you're
like
a pro
learning.
in your own kids.
Yeah.
Right.
And
We're
I-
only almost 4 years in.
I think
That's
we
not a lot.
forget that though. Like we know more about our kids than a book
Yeah.
or some parenting expert. Like
Yes.
we do research. We
Yeah.
know patterns.
Yeah.
But you know your children and you know yourselves, right?
Yeah.
And so whatever Riv was going through, it wasn't even about the iPad, right?
know.
Right.
It was sort of the circumstances of the move, probably first and foremost, right?
And he
He's really
didn't want to
been
go to bed.
struggling
He
with-
just doesn't want to go to bed ever. He wants to
Here
hang out.
or before?
Just in general.
Yeah, just in general,
Bedtime,
yeah.
kids just don't want to go to bed.
He also has been struggling with just someone we had caretaking for him is not here, and he's
he's
been
not
mentioning that to me, and that's like very hard for him. It's
He's
like a
going
family
through
member.
a lot.
A lot.
And
so what did I do wrong? Let's talk
Let's just
turkey.
ask, how would you handle it?
Oh my word. Wait, I thought we were talking about focus. No.
Wait, yeah. We'll get back to that.
But yes, I mean, listen,
It's okay. I want to
so
learn
cute.
from you.
So I think it's very important that we're not afraid of the reaction. So I think what that moment was excellent, that you took a moment, you checked in with yourself, and you actually made a conscious decision, not necessarily out of anger to pull the iPad or whatever it was, but that you were like, okay, I'm going to teach a lesson. So I think those moments are really, really powerful. And also, what's underneath his behavior is the feeling, right? And so connecting with him on the feeling and seeing that versus just making it a behavioral change is also important. So
and how do I connect on the feeling?
So you could say something like, potentially, I'm going to pull the iPad, like you're not going to have your show, and I want to talk through this a little bit. Like I see you're really frustrated. Yeah, blah, 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 or whatever he'll say. Give him the space to kind of articulate that, right? Is that what you like?
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then kind of
he was like hitting me as well, going up
see,
the
so
stairs.
the hitting isn't actually him trying to be disrespectful.
Yeah, we're dealing
No.
with hitting now.
He's trying to express something deep
physically.
within.
Like he can
Yes. Yeah. So physically, physiologically, his internal ecosystem is coming out, right?
Yeah.
So getting into that a little bit, and that makes so much sense what you're saying about the caretaker not being around, the move, the new school. Like it's a lot. It's a lot for a little person. So leveling with him, even if he doesn't have the words, maybe giving him the words. Now, it's not necessarily planting, but you could say something like, it's been a lot, huh? This move, we're in a new home, and you've been mentioning blah, 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 whatever the name is, a lot lately. I've noticed that. Yeah. And just pause. Like you don't even have to say, this is hard for you.
Almost tee them up for them to share.
It's an acknowledgement.
And I feel like
I've done that, but I need to do that more
It's just
for sure.
so that they know that they're not alone in whatever they're processing, and that you see that, and you also like you understand that, and they're not bad because they're having the feeling.
Right.
It's the feeling that's being the behavior that's not acceptable in your home.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the feeling isn't bad.
Right.
Right. So what's
Exactly.
a different way to express the feeling? Oh, I see that you're hitting. Let's try jumping up and down outside, or couches are meant for sitting if he's jumping on the couch. So sort of reframing into like a more positive behavioral shift.
More shifting or
that
saying
make
what
sense?
you can do rather than what you can't.
Yes.
I was just listening to that.
Yes.
And just saying like, this is not appropriate to hit mommy, but I see you're really frustrated. It's okay to have those big feelings.
So
Let's
not
talk
in the
about it.
same sentence though.
Okay.
Because that's too much for his age to process. So I think we as parents, especially our generation, like try so hard. Like we want to level with the feeling. And so we kind of try to get it all in at once.
Yeah.
And it leaves the kids feeling overwhelmed.
Okay.
Because it's like they need separation between the thought.
Okay. So how would you say it?
Exactly what you said, but separate. So have a beat in between.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
That's so precious.
Does that make sense? So it's like hitting mommy isn't, I'm not going to let you hit me. We're going to keep our hands in a safe space. Pause. Do you need my help with that? And just like sitting with him, not leaving him, right? And then the second part, like you're whatever you said.
Yeah.
Like you're having a big feeling right now, or I'm noticing that da-da-da, and just articulating what you see,
I love that.
right?
Because, I feel like, I was listening to, like, we don't do timeout, but if you put them in timeout, or, like, their biggest fear is losing your love and acceptance. And, like, I feel like timeout was so common in our generation. It's like, you're literally separating them from what they need to be regulated.
It's
we
there's like
do
a
that.
line, right? It's like it's almost like I do feel like our generation has almost gone too far in the non
How we were
discipline.
raised.
Yeah, it's like we wanted so desperately to be different.
Yes.
Right?
That would be more her, not me.
Okay, not you. Not
I'm
you.
big
Okay.
on boundaries and,
Yeah.
like, all that.
Yeah. So I think here's the thing to remember scientifically: kids feel safe when there's boundaries,
Yes.
there's rules,
Yes.
there's limits, and there's expectation. So the other piece of that is when you have a habit of always watching your iPad for 15 minutes every single night, and dad pulls that when I'm dysregulated.
Why wouldn't you go nuts?
Right. But also his feeling safe is destabilized even more. Not saying do the iPad at all, but perhaps iPad time could be more sporadic and not necessarily at the exact same time every day so that he doesn't get into the pattern.
Oh, wow.
Right. So we all fall into patterns. And what I think would, be really, what's helpful to kids is to mix up those patterns sometimes so that they understand that life ebbs and flows and that they too can ebb and flow with it, right?
Oh, that's cool.
And to remain flexible so that if dad does pull the iPad, it's not necessarily something my body needs to regulate that's being pulled.
That's cool.
So tonight is not an iPad night. That's for tomorrow, that type of thing, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He's not going to understand that.
I'm going to give you. Guess what? You're getting iPad time tonight before dinner for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Instead of
He's
like before bed.
Right?
And you know
instead of going to bed, but you articulate instead of before bed tonight, we're actually going to read a book. Or we're going to go outside and toss a ball around or kick a ball around.
Sure.
Maybe that actually would be really good physiologically for him.
On a side
To
note,
get that, right? Like just kind of shifting timelines so that it's not something he has to rely on.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
good tip. Yeah, it makes total
Yeah.
sense. One thing that's really helped lately is setting a timer whenever your kids have to do something. It's time to transition into the next thing, whether it's bedtime or a shower or something.
Totally.
Which there's really no question here. It's just more of like, this has helped us so much.
Yeah.
And I could say, hey, we're setting a 15-minute timer to watch Peppa Pig, but it's really only 5 minutes. Like, they don't know.
I do imaginary timers.
All the time.
The
But it's been so great.
My daughter's like, woo. Okay.
Yeah.
It helps him in his brain, and he's like, oh, the timer.
Yeah.
And I would say 90% of the time, he's like, okay,
So
no
that's
fight.
a powerful example of how articulation in parenting is so important. So even when people talk about this all the time, like I'm on my phone, but my kids don't even know that I'm looking at a recipe and I'm not distracted. I'm just doing something, but they think I'm distracted and they think my attention's being pulled. And how do I just articulate it?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I need 5 more minutes on this work email, but I'm going to get back to you in 2 minutes. Or I'm actually looking at a recipe right now on my phone. Do you want to come see what I'm doing? Or whatever it is, just to articulate the process.
I love that.
Daddy and I were we got into a little fight, but you know what? We're going to talk about it right now and we're going to get through this.
Yeah.
He and I are going to talk it out or whatever it is. We're going to go on a walk and talk. That's how Daddy and I get through things. It's really helpful or whatever it is, right? Just
That's
articulating your
cool.
process is super safe for kids.
I love that.
Yeah.
Should we go back to focus? Or do you want to?
Yeah, no, I was literally going to do that because we briefly touched on it.
Yeah.
We, grow up, and as we, go through life, we hear about time being so valuable. Your time. But you really focus on attention. Attention is the game changer. Explain why.
Yes. I mean, we tend to think about life as time cycles, and really, you can be spending time doing a bunch of things, but not actually present within whatever you're doing. And so the time becomes really irrelevant if you're not there for it.
Yeah.
And I think so many of us, from what I've seen, are just going through the motions. I mean, half of us don't even know how we got home. We're like on autopilot, right? I think there's so much coming at us at all times that we're trying to sort through, especially as parents and all the things. Our nervous system wasn't meant to live like this. And so we're just constantly fragmented, and attention is our greatest resource. Really it is, because when we attune to someone, like you could be spending time together, but not actually in those moments, and you still feel alone. Yeah. You might leave the presence of each other and just be like, well, I don't really, like, how many of us binge watch Netflix sitting on the same couch while also like triple screening?
No,
Well, I remember I said earlier,
like,
we're next to each other, DMing each other.
Yes.
No, what's really funny too is sometimes
Because you're
I'm like,
cooked by the end of the night. The kids are down, you're tired.
Exhausted.
Yeah.
no,
Right.
but sometimes I can't remember like what time of life this was, but I'd be like, should we go, like, let's spend time together tonight? And Jason's like, what? We've been together constantly. And in my head, I'm like, no, like we've been next to each other,
I know, my
but not like
the same thing. He's like, we just spent the whole day together. We
Like,
weren't really
not
together.
really.
Like
Like,
I didn't
we've been-
feel.
yeah.
So that points to like the feeling. It's the feeling. So that's honestly attention for each other or ourselves or whoever it is critical. It's so much more important than time.
And I really want to set boundaries more here. This move, I think, is
Like
really
during
great.
this podcast?
No.
No.
Yeah, right now.
Let's practice. I love it.
No, like-
Role play. That's my favorite thing.
No, like where we live now, I feel like it's a little more community oriented, but
Yeah.
also like a little detached. Like service is not great out here, which is kind of,
Kind of a blessing. Yeah, totally.
And it's like, we used to have a rule, like when you would come home from work, we had like no devices for at least an hour.
I love that.
We just don't.
Seems like years
just
ago.
right after. Yeah. And then like, I think that time is so important, and especially the kids, like they see so much more than we think, even if we know it, sometimes we're not thinking about it. And it's like,
The little eyes are watching.
yes. But even with you, I'm always like, babe, look at Poppy right now. And you're like, or you like don't even hear it, which I'm not even like saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying I
Sounds
do
like you're
it.
calling me out.
No, I just
I think
do
I was
it
paying a
so,
bill.
I do it so much because I like get so excited. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
No, but it's true.
that's so
it's
important.
True.
Like
it is.
Yeah.
And so I mean, and you know this, like they're watching. It's not what we say. It's what we do.
yeah.
You can say all day long, like don't be on your device, don't be whatever it is as they grow. But if they see you constantly on it,
Yeah.
that's just one example though.
Yeah.
It's also, it could be anything. I mean, it could be saying yes to too many things and
Yeah.
they're left with a parent who's exhausted and frazzled just
Yeah.
because you've taken on too much, all with good intentions.
Yep.
But it's like, what are we escaping from? Like, what are we doing here? Right?
It almost feels like recently for me, we've never spent more time. I mean, it's in the best way because we went to Florida for a few weeks. We went to Texas while we were in the middle of this move and didn't have a house to move into. So the kids have been with us. I mean, constantly 24/7. Son was not in school. Daughter's not in school yet.
Yeah.
So it's almost like feeling more tired because we're getting so much
exhausted.
time. But you talk about fractured attention, and I feel like I might be suffering from fractured attention because I'm with them, but yet sometimes after a while I'm like, yeah, buddy. Yep.
Yeah.
1 second. Whether I'm on my
need to-
phone or in my own
Yeah.
little world, figuring out, okay, we got the movers coming. I got this. How dangerous is that?
I mean, listen, I think it's really important that you not shame yourself for that either. It's very human. It's very normal.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, right? And so it takes a lot out of you. I think we are all suffering from fragmented attention, and that's also because our attention is everyone's profit margin, right? Like these companies work really hard. They know exactly how to loop you in and to keep you there, and they work very hard at it and employ people like me to help.
Yeah.
Who understand
Business
the
is
brain,
good, right?
Who understand the brain. But I think the more, so I talk a lot about this in the book that, focus isn't really about how much you're getting done, but it's really more about being very intentional about what you're doing and single tasking in those moments that you're doing it, and then being responsive rather than reactive to your life. So you know that you're fragmented. You see that happening. You can feel it. That means Jason needs to come home to himself a little bit, right? And so how do you do that? You need to find, whatever it is, like those and it doesn't have to be a big, like people are like, I'm going to do a 2-week silent retreat and I'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, sure, fine, fun, interesting. Definitely we'll learn a few things or two, but that's going to pass real
Not
quick. And then
practical
you'll
and
go
not
right
for
back to
everybody.
like your old
Yeah.
ways. So it's really those micro moments of focus. And it can be something as simple as on your drive home, try turning off all things like music, podcasts.
I'd love to turn Blippy off in the car. I mean, that
But
would
like
be a
if
blessing.
you don't have your kids in the car, you know what I mean?
Okay.
you.
Oh, this is it when I'm by myself.
This is when you're by yourself.
Copy
like
that. Okay.
when
listen to
you're
Blippi by yourself.
we're so
Blippy, fire truck song, please. Fire truck song, please. Yeah, we got work to do.
You're also in a season of life that's taxing. Like you just have to own that, right? It's like it'll pass, but it's hard. It's hard when you're in it. And just finding those micro moments where you can come back to yourself is going to help with your focus significantly. We're just inundated with content.
Yeah.
So even when we think we're taking a break or resting, we're probably scrolling or
Yeah.
watching something, and it's still, your brain is still working. And the idea with effective and restorative breaks is that you really actually do have to take that break. And that can be just literally a
Prayer?
5-minute prayer,
Yeah.
a walk with nothing in your ears. Like AirPods are my...
Neither of
it's
us
like-
We don't
those.
do
I don't
AirPods.
either.
No judgment,
people
but
think
that,
it's
that
not for
radiation
brain.
to
Yeah.
your brain,
love
don't
that.
get me
Okay,
started.
you're like the first people I've met
Cords.
that I don't even put like
No.
it's more about just like giving the brain rest.
Yes.
We are not meant to always be consuming.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. We're consuming, we're making decisions, we're processing, we're like the invisible labor of all of that is too much. It's taxing. No wonder we're all exhausted, even after taking breaks and whatever we're doing, right?
Our brains aren't meant to handle all this, right?
We can't.
Well,
We
it's
simply
hard
can't.
too. I feel like in our, specifically your industry, is so much is based on content.
Yes.
Me too. I feel like sometimes I just cannot even immerse myself into it fully because it's just not me.
Yeah.
Like I love helping people understand healthy ways of living and stuff like that. But I'm like, I just want to be present with my kids. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, nothing compares to that. If I make $50 more, like from not doing that,
Totally.
that is so not worth it.
Yeah. Well, listen
but
to
it's
that
hard.
compass too. It is hard. It is hard when our lives depend on it. My kids actually reflect this to me all the time now that they're preteen and teen. And then I have a little one, but even my 13-year-old's like, Mom, you say no social media, that it's bad for you, whatever, but yet you're on it and you have to do it.
Yeah.
And you keep saying it's for work.
Yeah.
But like, what is this really about?
Yeah.
And so it's a great conversation to have philosophically. Like I'm like, unfortunately, that is the nature of the work I do. And fortunately, I have a beautiful community that I do want to connect with. And it is important. It is a part of my work. But I'm also able to disconnect from it. And I don't need it. There's the difference. Like I don't need to be on it to feel validated. It doesn't give me a feeling.
Yes.
I use it as a tool. So
Totally.
there is the distinction. So
Love that.
many of us use social media, for example, for the feeling it gives us, for the escape, for the dopamine, for the feeling good about yourself, to build confidence, whatever it is. And that's not to be ashamed about because that's sort of what it's engineered to do.
Yeah.
But it's important to have awareness.
I feel like that I lean towards, I'm like a post and go. Like I'm not,
Yeah,
like
you're
I love
very good at
connecting
that.
with people and stuff like that, but not like, it doesn't give me 1 ounce of
I can
confidence.
sense that. That's a beautiful, wonderful thing.
I'm the opposite.
You, I feel like, are the,
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of
yeah,
the
understandably,
metrics have to
yeah.
do, and the insights have to do with just being transparent, the next brand deal and something that we're passionate about. And that's what keeps the lights on.
And it's very
Yep.
personal
Yeah.
for you because
Yeah.
it's
Of course.
you.
Because
right?
I put a ton of
totally.
effort
Yeah.
into anything I post.
Yeah.
I edit it. I want it to be, whether it's the music or the camera angles, like I've been that kid since I was 12 years old, creating, capturing content. And so I take it personally,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
are steps, like even for, because I feel like I used to be more like that. And then I think,
How did you shift? Was it conscious?
I don't really think so. I think things just started happening in my life that just made me realize this is so not important. Like it's important to make an income and all of that, but it's like separate. Like I view that as that. And I feel like what are ways to shift? Because I feel like the majority is like what you feel through social media, to shift away from that.
Yeah.
But like do it for work, but shit, you know what I mean?
Is that even possible?
It is very possible. It's a skill you have to practice. It's a habit. I think it's so critical to fill your internal ecosystem with things that make you feel good in the physical world. And I say that because so much of our lives are actually lived in the digital world.
Yeah.
And we have the physical world, but then we're in this in between also, and we're going back and forth and back and forth, and that's what's exhausting. That's what's depleting. It's that back and forth. So for you, Jason, it's like, how do you fill yourself in the physical world? And maybe it could be so simple and so small. It could start with just, being really immersed in whatever moment you're in the physical world without any connection to anything else, and finding things that light you up or make you feel good. Like, just finding your edges. There's going to be a lot of curiosity during this stage and approaching yourself with wonder and learning as opposed to judgment, right? And then kind of just getting curious about, what are you getting from it? Like, what can you get the same thing from other ways? How can you replace that with this? And just kind of feeling around. It's almost like a chess game, and replacing bad habits with better ones.
I love
Right?
that.
That's
way of
kind of
saying
what it is. Because we can't just like cold turkey habits. Habits are actually safety mechanisms, whether they're good habits or bad habits. Like they exist for a reason to regulate us, right? And so to create better habits, we have to sort of figure out what can we replace the bad ones with.
What do you think that would be for you?
I feel like my routine's already changed up a little bit since we moved here. I was just telling you
think
the
so,
last
too.
3
Yeah,
days,
I noticed a bit
I go to my little spot and I'll have a coffee.
Nice.
And I will kind of look around and take in everything, and I'll read a little scripture or I'll do a little prayer time, and just kind of just be in the moment.
Yeah.
Which has been, that's very different for me right now.
And is that how you start your day?
Yeah.
Do you pick
I
up
always
your
start.
phone?
I always start my day. Well,
Like the moment your eyes open, do you grab your phone?
I've been doing this thing called first fruits, where it's like being thankful for what you have in your life before you even pick up your your phone.
Okay, good, yeah.
But that lasted a couple of weeks. So I'm trying to get back to that. But the first thing is I will, like this morning was pretty jarring because we were in a deep sleep and Poppy didn't sleep well because she's not feeling the best right now. And I just remember waking up feeling so tired and being like, okay, here we go. But don't touch your phone yet. Take in the sunshine, get a little light on your face. Here we go. But usually it's grab the kids, get it, pack the lunch, drop my son off at school. It's all those things.
Yeah.
And then I don't even get
Logistics.
to myself
Yeah, right.
until an hour and a half into the day.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm doing my routine. But maybe it's just having to wake up earlier. But man, right these days, I just
Sleep
love
is so
it.
valuable.
I love
Totally.
sleep
And
right
you don't
now.
have to wake up earlier, and you don't
Yeah.
even have to be with yourself. Just be in your life.
Yeah.
That's enough.
love
You're
that.
in a phase right now where your kids, they're going to be all encompassing. Like it's just going to take precedent. You don't have the luxury of like waking up and having a long coffee and doing a walk and a hike.
I'm not a
and
5 a.m. wake up guy. I
neither
just
am
can't
I.
do that.
And by the way, you don't have to do that. Like
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there who say that that's like critical. It's not,
Yeah.
truly. It's just back to so being in your life is what matters.
love that.
Right? So it's not
Yeah.
escaping. Like you play like you're taking the kids to school, you're doing it, you're in it,
Mm-hmm.
but really being in it. The easiest thing you can do to completely change the trajectory of your day is not grab your phone the first thing.
You know what I've heard? Or what
Like literally, because your brain wakes up, and I've said this before, you might have heard me say this, that like almost like wet cement. So it takes about 30 to 45 minutes for it to really harden and imprint. That's kind of, like the
So
metaphor.
you stick to that. You don't get on a phone until before about
I'm
an hour.
bad at it some days and I'm good at it other days. I know how effective it is. It still pulls me to it. I'm here preaching this and it's still hard for me. So I get it. I use excuses. Like I have a sister who lives in a different time zone. So for me in my head, I've always picked up my phone first to make sure nothing happened through the night that I wasn't aware of, or like I missed something. I don't know why. It's just like this.
Sure.
But I need to get through that. That's stuff I'm working through. My kids no longer have baby monitors. I used to pick up my phone and that was my excuse.
Yes.
I'm like, I have to see if the baby's okay.
Yeah.
So now I bought an analog alarm clock because it used to be like, that's my alarm.
Old
But then
school,
I got
Love.
tugged in, right? It's like, the problem is when you wake up in your phone, you're waking up with other people's urgencies and emergencies that aren't yours.
Yes.
And when you don't wake up in your own life, like everything else just pulls away at you and you set the tone for distraction and irritability and frustration the rest of the day. It's so hard to get out of that once your brain imprints. For the day. So like the first 30 minutes. So yeah, it's chaos. Like your kids are running, whatever it is, you're exhausted. I'm so in it. I feel the feelings. Like my kids similar-ish this week, but as long as we're not in the phone and trying to toggle the chaos with the phone pulling at us, other people's urgencies don't become our emergencies. And we're better able to kind of intentionally take on what we decide, if that makes sense. Like we have to make decisions versus being reactive.
I've realized that about myself just this month away when I'm trying to do everything at once. So kind of what you're saying, I just wouldn't have had the words to say it like being present in your life or whatever, which makes it all so clear to me. I was like, I need to stop. Like I'm doing this for someone and I'm going to try to just respond really fast to like 3 text messages and then like do this. I'm like, I realized how I was stressing myself out so much.
Because you have 9 open tabs.
Yeah, but I'll at the end of the night, I'll set time, or not the end of the night, the end of the evening, I will set time and I'll just answer all my text messages.
Yes.
And I can glance at it every once in a while in the day, like if something's a work thing or whatever. But I used to be the type where I'm like, I would answer an email in 1 second. This is before kids.
No. You
But-
have to train people
Yeah.
how to treat you and what your time is worth
Yes.
and your energy.
And it's harder to do that without 9 to 5 jobs like
It
in our
is.
generation.
It is because
But
we feel like
yeah.
we have to be accessible all the time.
Yeah.
You have to set boundaries on your energy and your time.
Yes.
And what I also advise people to do is almost like schedule in time to be distracted.
Yes.
So you kind of get it out. Like, oh, this is my social media time. Like schedule it into your calendar. Literally, it's like a button comes up. Even if you're not needing to do it, you're like, okay, this is my time
Yeah.
to be distracted or to worry or to scroll through Instagram
Yes.
or to look at cat videos on YouTube or whatever. It's like
No judgment.
You want to know
Or
judgment.
dogs for us.
Dogs. But nails tapping on a table. But if you get it out of your system, you're better able to come back to what actually is necessary and then single task while you're doing it.
Yes.
I mean, the thing that's eroding our consciousness the most is like this sort of false idea that we can multitask and we're really good at it. Yeah. And that therefore lies like our success is all about the fact that we can multitask.
Yeah.
Human beings can't multitask.
Yeah, I don't think I'm very good at that
Yeah.
anymore. Maybe I thought I was, and
You
I burned
thought
myself
you were.
out.
Totally. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. We just can't.
Yeah.
Like our brain just isn't set up like that. And so the faster we can learn, and I talk about this a lot in the book, is like to just do something, but do that thing only.
I love that.
You'll be so much more effective, so much more productive. You'll do it in so much less time. It's just wild to me how many people think that they're getting more done by multitasking when in
Yes.
fact they're not doing anything well.
Yes. And they're not exactly.
And they're not even in it. And then they
Right.
just don't even know what they did. I mean, how many Zooms have you had with people who you know are not
Yeah.
focused? And then they have like no idea what you said.
Totally.
Right? At the end of the day, it's like,
We should start quizzing people during Zooms.
oh, I
Mary,
have like a whole
do you
protocol.
remember what I said?
I've learned
I
that.
call people out. I'm like, I get it, but also let's make this a shorter Zoom, but let's
Yeah.
also focus. Like,
No, I totally blinked on what I was going to say.
It's okay. We have about 5.
I was going to say
yeah.
I've learned so much from my friend
5
that
minutes.
she doesn't have any kids. She's single at the moment, and she is the most present individual. And like spending time with her, I feel like I learned, maybe that's also how I learned how to be more present, because I would just spending time with her, just observing her without even realizing I was observing her in a way, like really inspired me to just slow down and be.
yeah, I think we live life in such a fast speed. And it's like, it's almost like what this world requires of us in a way, but we can opt out.
Yeah.
We can still be really live a very like a life in which we thrive without going at full force and exhausting ourselves with the pace. And so, I mean, I think it's important to remember that focus is really emotional and relational.
Wow.
I think we mistake it for being this like, executive tool. And it's not. It's
So-
really about coming home to ourselves.
And well, 2 questions. So do you feel like that impacts ADD? Like, do you think that's a real thing?
Yes, I do. Wait, say that again.
So
is
I'm like-
ADD a real thing or is it
Sort of.
folk-
Or is it more caused so much by like relational, emotional things?
I
that-
think it can be both. I
Yeah.
think there are absolute genetic neurodivergence is a very real thing.
For sure.
I think it's really important to understand and normalize, and but we also have tools. We also can use behavioral, cognitive, practices that can help. I think devices and our life's distractions have become so pervasive that it's definitely exacerbating the issue even with people who are not neurodivergent. So I think there's both, and I think it's super important to just be aware and get curious about your life and your triggers.
Well said,
And
yeah.
what erodes your focus the most,
Yeah.
which I call sort of like these like focus thieves. Tune into that. It's information. And then don't build your life on top of that. Make shifts in your life in order to like live a life that actually you're not like losing breath over, right? It's like make shifts not in spite of that, but because of that.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm wondering too, what does your family structure look like in regards to focus, routine, phones,
Yeah, because you have
everything?
you have focus plans for couples. And, you wrote the book on this.
Yeah, listen, I think it's super important to give ourselves grace for being human.
Of course.
I have all the faults too. I'm like, my son is 13 and doesn't have a phone. Probably one of the only ones his age.
How's that going for him?
Fine.
Really?
Yep. He is fine with it. He doesn't ask for it. He doesn't want it. He understands. We've talked a lot about sort of the science of it all. He gets it. He's a unique kid in that sense. He's athletic. He's busy. He stays curious. He gets engaged in other things. It's hard though in terms of, I think, socially, just to kind of stay. He has a lot of friends, but I think, they all know how to only communicate mainly through devices.
Sure.
And
do you think
he
his
even
friend,
said to me, communicating through emojis is kind of weird. I don't think a lot of people my age know how to talk through stuff.
Right. Yeah. You just put a teardrop emoji and not even get into the emotion.
Nobody really knows and I mean, the whole other thing, dating and the loneliness of this generation is wild. Kids don't date anymore, at all.
Well, because they're on TikTok Live.
They just hang out digitally.
Yeah. No. And they talk through that.
So he's definitely learning his edges and kind of figuring that out. He does communicate through a device. He's unique in that sense, though, because he actually can regulate his own time pretty effectively. Wow. And so we talk about a lot of that. I think it's so super important to be open about it and kind of have those exchanges so that he can feel like he can talk to us about anything with that stuff. My 11-year-old daughter, quite different. Every child is so different.
She has 2 phones.
She has 15 phones, all that she bought herself without telling me and hides them in her room. It's just a different, and girls also, I think the girl-boy dynamic is different. Girls are very much into belonging and relational, and they all communicate through group texting. My daughter gets pockets of time in which she can, but generally doesn't yet. We talk through a lot of that. She does feel left out at times. I'm okay with that. She's left out of the bad stuff too. And so we talk about the cost benefit,
balance of it all.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think teaching children the ability to delay gratification and all of that is so critical. And so we're just working through that. It's harder for her though. It's just it's a funky age. My 5-year-old is just woo. I don't think I want a phone until I'm 35. She's just she's like, Mommy, you're on your phone, but I'm talking to you.
No.
Yeah. So we work through that for sure. But I think, I think awareness is key and just being forgiving too. We're all going to mess up and talking through that. And my husband is really good actually about his phone. I'm probably worse about it. I'm also, it was slightly a different generation. And so he's not that much, it sounds like he's so much older. He's not that much older, but
kind of like him.
But even
7 years.
9-ish years, it makes a difference. Right. And so for him, he doesn't have the phone around during dinner. He could. A lot of people, and he's in finance, and they're all with clients,
Sure. Yeah.
So he's very good about that. He's incredible with the focus piece. But other things where we have our edges. So it's just important to have open communication about it. Yeah. Right. And every day looks different for us. Right. It's just, it ebbs and flows, and we just have to keep staying aware. And intentional about it and just talk through it. And if something's not working, know that we can always fix it.
Sure.
Or figure it out, right?
Have you heard of tin phones?
Yes, tin can. You
tin
mean?
can.
Tin can. I just literally, it's sitting on my desk at my office.
What is
and
that?
I'm bringing it home to my daughter.
It's
a
a nieces
landline.
just got those. Yeah. It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
landline.
no, I saw that. Yeah.
Where they can call each other.
Yeah, I
It's
just got
that.
one.
We have a landline here.
have a landline.
She called
I am
customer
obsessed.
support.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Trying to
I sent my
locate a rug. She goes, we don't have phone service. I go, we got a landline. She's like,
Wait,
hello.
I'm so thrilled.
I actually think
So
that's
cool.
all coming back
I
by the
think
time
so
your
too.
kids are older.
Yes.
Hopefully.
From your lips to God's ears.
Seriously, they will be into all that slow stuff.
I agree.
Because we miss
That's my
the old
hope.
days.
We need it.
No, he's saying this is actually hilarious because on the landline, I'm sending a picture to my best friends.
it.
I'm like, guys, I'm on with customer service on a landline.
Remember you used to go to TGI
I'm
Fridays?
obsessed.
I don't know if this was at every location, but they used to have 3 public phones,
No way.
like on a circle staircase at TGI Fridays, and you would go and you would, while you're waiting for your food, you make a phone call.
That's
maybe I'm dating
hilarious.
myself, and maybe that was the only location in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. But that's what I remember. I miss the old TGI Friday phone moments.
You guys,
We're just
I mean,
Blockbuster.
the payphones, my kids saw a payphone at it was like in a museum, actually. I felt so old.
I can't.
It was at the Smithsonian. What is that?
You used to put a coin in this thing. They didn't even have credit cards.
Yeah. No,
You couldn't Apple Pay to
how
make a
old
call?
are you?
even like vintage shopping,
Yes.
there's stuff and it'll be dated and it's like 2002. And
Totally.
I'm like, what?
I know.
Long time
It's
ago.
wild.
That's vintage?
I know.
Dr. Z, you are a wealth of knowledge, and I loved our time together.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
special.
Finding Focus is the book.
Yes.
It's out now. You've been writing books for over 10 years, so that's one of many. And I think people can really benefit, and I know they already are from what you're doing. So thank you for giving us an hour plus of your time.
Oh, thank you
And
for having
glad you're
me.
getting settled back into your home life with your kids, and we just appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. You know the drill, and we'll see you next time here on the Kennedys.